What is up, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Massive Damage. Joining me is, just like last week, Rakychu. How are you doing?
Hello. Hello.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Smash Mouth intro. I swear, I swear I'm about to fucking transition this podcast into a trash talking show in the second week, because I'm so fucking done.
The life of an EU competitive
Yep.
player.
Yep. But yeah, how you been doing this week after the first week of open beta in general?
Yeah. Like, open beta wise has been fairly good. Nice to be able to just play whenever, get Q-pops whenever. Really fun. Just a bit of a shame about the competitive scene at the moment.
Yeah. We've been trying so hard. But it's all working out at the moment. So today, what we're doing is we're going to be talking about Motiga's Ask Me Anything, or Ask Us Anything on the Reddit, basically. And we're basically just going to go over all the topics they've brought up, go over their response a little bit, and then just give our thoughts on it, and maybe the implication for the future, and the short term, of course.
Yes.
So the first thing, which we already touched on a little bit last week, is the text chat. So they basically said that they plan to add the feature, but that it's being held off due to the size of the project.
It's interesting. Obviously, text chat is fairly wanted by a lot of people at the moment. I want it as well. It'd be nice to be actually tell people why you're asking them to withdraw, especially with like a number of new people playing. Definitely wanted some sort of chat system in.
Yeah, obviously, but what's strange is that it seems to be a large project according to them, but they once had. But they once had chat in the game already, I guess,
to be honest though, I think the thing we have to remember is this is a text chat for like a basic Windows 64 version of the game would probably be simple, like fairly simple and easier to do. Whereas they've got to make a chat system that's going to work on the Windows Store, Xbox One, and potentially even for Arc. So they might have run into some complications there, which could be the delay of it, but like we kind of want the text chat at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think being able to kind of try and start communicating to people about what to do and what not to do, especially it would also contribute to like increasing the general player base skill, which is kind of low at the moment. So compared to people with like months, even a couple of years of experience, for some people, they're like most people have only been playing a couple of weeks, so of course it's not going to be all that good. So
yeah, like you get the pros and the cons. Like at the moment, you don't get the people shit talking, going, "Oh my god, why aren't you here? I know everything. You should be right here, right now." Type people. But then you also get the negatives of someone new can't learn the game from someone else without contacting them outside, like on the Xbox app or something,
or like Discord and shit.
And like you could bring up the fact that there's the VGS, like the ping system and the voice command stuff, but I just feel there isn't enough there to really get across what you want to do, especially because Gigantic isn't a simple game when you get into the actual high level of it. Like, okay, there's a lot. You could just team deathmatch it and you'd probably get to an end of the game and win it some of the games, but the further on you get, the more creature pushing, falling back, making sure you don't die, making sure you get the last orb and things like that. It just gets a bit too complicated for the system at the moment.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how they're going to implement the quick messaging system, because a lot of people make the comparison to like the Smite VGS system, which is, I think it's a really well implemented system, and it works super well as just as a tool, and you can just
it's nice, very complex.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to using it, but I think it's a good like substitute for having text chat if it's actually well implemented.
Yeah, if it's well implemented, but I'd still want that text chat as well.
Yeah, but I think with games like Smite, the amount of direct commands you can give to to your teammates. Basically, it's like, yeah, you're getting ganked on left lane. I'm not sure how they're gonna implement like these very simple things in this game.
You're being ganked on B point.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing how Motiga is going to actually take that and run with it, because they've said they are going to like expand on that project, and I sure hope they do. I think it's a really good system in general. And another thing that could help communication is the expansion of the ping system. The ping wheel.
The ping wheel, like, I think the ping wheel is nice, and it can kind of give you quick instructions fairly quick. It's just I feel a lot of the player base doesn't understand the actual uses of it yet. Like, I can do the retreat ping, but half the people won't actually respond to that retreat ping.
Yeah.
So, but then again, that, like, it could be just the design of it. Like, the redraw is an exclamation mark orange, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Maybe something like a cross or like a X or like something telling them to back off would be more appropriate for that type of thing. But hey,
yeah. Also
just
think
my own thoughts.
I also think the sounds might not completely line up with what they're meant to do. Somehow I have the feeling that the sounds are not completely not completely lined up with the thing. So you have the red sword ping, or like the red fight here thing, which is about the same sort of sound as like the retreat ping. So if you understand what I mean. So I think that's very confusing.
True. That does make sense. Now that I think back to the sounds, like, I will admit, like, when I play, I generally block out a lot of the gigantic sounds.
Yep.
Mainly because I'm trying to listen for that trip.
Yeah, absolutely. If that actually works, because sometimes you get the silent trip in there. So no, thank you.
The nightmares.
But I think like the on my way ping and like the summon here ping have really good distinctive sounds. Well, I think the other two really need some
slight
changes. So yeah, the next big thing. So Motiga obviously asked for more info on how they can improve the ping wheel. So yeah, just if you're new to the game, and if you have thoughts on the ping wheel, please post it on Reddit, post on the Arc forums. Motiga is really good at like reading everything. You probably noticed that there's like a lot of Motigan responses on Reddit and stuff. They read pretty much everything. So yeah, just make sure to go post there and go get your thoughts heard.
Definitely. Like, if you don't voice your concerns, nothing's gonna happen.
Of course. Then a bigger thing is the patching cycle that they're planning for.
They announced it.
Yep, they announced it, and this was a thing that us and the rest of Core was basically a little bit wary about, or like watching out for, because generally the game has still a lot of bugs and still a lot of stuff to fix. So we were really looking out for like what is the patching cycle for balance and major bug fix going to be. And it seems that it's going to be every 6 weeks for like the major balance patches. And then
seems to be the plan.
Yeah, and every week they will unlock some more content. So that content will come with the patch, but I think they just hide it away. Yep, and then unlock it every week. So
it would definitely be interesting. Of course, the main factor we always have to remember with this is they're using the Windows 10 store on Xbox, so Microsoft has their certification process, the games and stuff. I don't know how quick that goes for the Motiga.
I believe that was about a week. But like in previous events when they have like we're going to send this build out for certification, they took like 3 or 4 days at least to get the build certified. So let's say a week, just to be safe.
Take the 6 weeks and kind of give it here and there. It may be delayed. But it sounds like a good plan. Content coming 6 weeks and like hidden like other things being added. I think if I remember right in the AMA, they mentioned things like skins, creatures, cards, and stuff.
Yep.
It should be good. It'll keep the game fresh to an extent. I'm very curious of these content patches. I feel we need to fill the first one before we can really get a feel of how big these content patches are actually going to be.
On top of that, they also gave that like we're going to release one of the new heroes every 6 weeks. So that's kind of a more regular like production schedule, like when we compare it to like Smite or League of Legends or some similar games.
It'd be very interesting to see what heroes they've been working on actually. So obviously we know about Paco, but
we also kind of know about Roland.
Yeah, but he vanished, and we don't know how he's going to come back. So it'll be interesting to see when he decides to reappear, if he does, of course.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think one hero every 6 weeks is a good length. It's not too cramped that you're kind of overwhelmed with new heroes. And it's not too far away that you kind of get like, oh, I want a new hero.
Yeah, so what the 6 weeks is going to do, it's quite a long period of time for rapid iteration or rapid changes to things that are busted, basically. So if they manage to get a massive fuck up in some form of another, massive damage or like a massive balance mistake, then you have to wait 6 weeks to kind of fix it.
I don't think it'll be that bad. I feel if something is majorly broken, I'm sure they'll break the curve and do a quick patch just to fix something.
Yeah, I hope
if they don't, then they're making a huge mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think it'll be that bad. And of course, like we may think something is majorly broken, but they'll have more detailed stats than us.
Yeah,
so they might think it's not as bad. But hey, if we don't talk about it, they won't fucking know.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, definitely going to watch out for that first content release and see what's going on.
I guess the other thing to add for this one is they also announced that Tuesdays will be the free rotation changes, and Thursdays will be patch days. So I guess that's something to squeeze in there as well, which is nice to know.
Yep, definitely know when to expect you have new champions and new heroes. Damn, I keep messing them up. Like I finally got into the cadence of calling like everything heroes, but then I went back to League for a bit, and now I'm calling everything champions again. So excuse me for that. But yeah, the creatures should definitely come back as well. I think part of these content messages. So yeah, hopefully we get our buddy Stormdrake and Ice Yeti.
Ice Yeti, bring back Ice Yeti.
Yes, please, Motiga. So yeah, of course, people are going to ask about the release date of the game, which has not been confirmed yet. I think we're in for kind of a long phase of open beta, the way it's shaping up. I don't expect a release anytime soon.
Neither do I. I think it's going to be late, like middle of the year to the end of the year when release happens. I think release, it depends on Motiga's stance on Arc, honestly. Like whether they're going to wait for Arc to be re-implemented with everything, or whether they're just going to release the game without it. I feel they'll probably try and get Arc in before release, though.
Yeah. Which is one other thing they have touched on, and which is kind of confirmation of what we were speculating on last week. Someone brought up the idea of like an account, transfer and merchant kind of deal. And they brought up that they're talking to the platform holders, so like to Microsoft and to Perfect World, and that they have the goal to unify the community, and with the minimum requirement of like unifying the matchmaking groups.
Yes,
which is the biggest deal.
That's if they can reach that, at least that minimum aim, that will at least make the game. It'll be a pain that you can't switch between Arc and Windows and stuff. However, if the matchmaking is at least one like complete united community, then I feel the game will be fairly alright. You're not gonna have like these like small pools of matchmaking in like Arc or Windows, depending on how the community turns.
So yeah, what's really good to know is that Motiga is actually actively talking to these people and trying to get things done. Because yeah, it would be the most optimal to have everything in one place and have like an account that you can log in with and have like your gigantic username and everything.
Yeah. It'd be amazing if they can pull that off.
Oh yeah, that would rock. Definitely, but I think it's going to be a big deal for the release schedule, as you said.
Yeah.
I think they might this might be a priority for them to fix before they actually go into the release state. So that's why I think it's going to be a while before release. Also because we're kind of seeing a little bit more of the experimental. They're like bringing open beta to a much more experimental state than the closed beta was.
Definitely.
If you agree with me there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, of course we have a little bit more background information as core players here, but that we can't really share. But what it is that usually the changes are going to be less tested and less less well tested through.
Yeah.
Compared to the closed beta.
I think Trip is the major proof of that. Like, I'm seeing a lot of Reddit posts of people going, "Oh, it's buggy. The focus doesn't seem to work how I expect it to," and things like that. So, I guess before there were those types of bugs, but I feel it's definitely more. It's not complete experimental, but there's definitely the odd thing here or there that it doesn't seem like it's been fully tested yet.
Yep. So yeah, and that's why I also think it's gonna take a little longer, because everything. I think they kind of pushed the open beta stage forward a little bit and kind of adjusted their plans. Made the open beta stage a little a little more experimental, and instead of having like a 24/7 closed beta stage where they just have like the really experimental stuff and then moving into an open beta stage that's a little shorter but less experimental than it is now. But now they just extended the open beta into
I think the open beta was the right call. A lot of people are getting fed up with the key system, with the game being behind closed doors a ton. So I feel, even though it's not both Arc and Windows, the fact that now it's open beta and people can just play it now, I feel it's definitely opened the door more for people.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, that's it's going to be something to look out for as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also saw the little droplets of voice acting. Dripping into the game. Mainly
if you've not watched that training video, it's on their YouTube now as well.
Yep.
So it's hard to miss it. The voice acting is really good, and the tutorial is also, like, the tutorial itself I haven't actually tried, but the tutorial video is definitely gives you the basic of Gigantic, which is nice.
Yep. I definitely think Amani, I think especially Amani is really well done. I think it just completely conveys the character really well. She's this kind of very confident
leader type person.
Yeah, she just, all the call outs, like when you summon a creature, it's like creature en route, and then it's like backup has arrived and shit like that. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's definitely nice to see characters gaining personalities now and slowly growing and developing. Like they've also said that they are working on communication between the characters and stuff, which will be definitely interesting to see.
Yeah. The thing that I don't really like about this is how they implemented things like Taito and HK into the QMS system. If you understand where I'm going here, because I think the whole deal about the QMS system is that you don't have to look at the chat; you just hear like a command in your ears, and then you are like, I need to do that. But if you have like the HK and the Taito thing, you just hear beep boop and like the bird squeaks.
It's a bit of both, because obviously Taito, very mysterious. You don't really know much about the person itself. You just know about Fang. So having Fang do the talking is definitely an interesting choice. HK is obviously a robot, so
yes, but of course it makes sense from like a lore perspective, but I'm not sure if it like undermines the functionality of the system.
Then, you have to it. If I remember right, Overwatch with Bastion does the same thing as well.
Yes, but
I think I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, especially because I don't feel anyone really uses that system properly in terms of giving calls. They use the pings instead.
Yep.
So I'm thinking because of that, unless the actual voice commands we have are more fleshed out and more useful in games, that's when we'll start seeing that becoming more of an issue, I feel, personally.
Yeah, definitely. I think that also has somewhat to do with like the text box where the pings and like the commands show up is like completely invisible.
The
It's like
clusterfuck of fucking messages.
from like colors and messages. Like it's not good. That needs some cleaning up definitely from the UI team. So
especially if that becomes the chat box as well.
Yep. So yeah, we had the founder spec carryover brought up a lot. Like the question if I buy the founder spec here, is it going to carry over to the other platform?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to how the Arc and Windows Unity, like how cross the platform holders allow, whether that becomes a thing or not.
Yep, but I definitely understand the concern. Of course, it's a thing that
it's definitely more of a concern, especially as it's known that if you buy the founders, you don't get reimbursed with the stuff you've already brought. So it's one of those, you either have to just jump in or you're not going to get your money's worth if you buy it later on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a thing that it's definitely a valid concern, and I think that's a thing that holds people back from buying the founders pack right now.
Definitely.
So I hope they get some clarity on that situation soon, so they can actually inform people about the situation and not run the risk of losing a lot of revenue, basically. So yeah, that's also interesting to wait for. Of course, because of Motiga allowing now the microtransaction and stuff, no more wipes, so the progress will stay as it is, which is a good thing.
That's good thing, especially with like the fact that you can buy gems and buy the founders. Like it's kind of a given now that wipes can't really be a thing unless something huge goes wrong or something. And if something huge goes wrong, they'll try and reimburse everything.
Yep, definitely. So let's see. Where are we? Definitely UI. Yep. So UI is definitely still under construction and getting like a lot of changes. Probably we'll see very gradual changes each patch, or like each couple of patches.
Or now and
every
then,
couple of patches. Yeah.
I think like the UI is definitely much better than it was last year.
Oh, yes.
Like if anyone goes back and look at old footage from when we could post stuff back in January, February time, I can't remember when it roughly was. The UI was definitely a lot more clunkier and like not really that nice to look at. I hear a lot of people saying that the UI is very cluttered at the moment. I semi-agree. I think like the control points definitely block your vision now and then. Don't quite know how they're going to change that, but then you also have the flip side of the fact that you can kind of look at that and ping it, so you can ping the points more effectively.
Yeah, that works really well, honestly.
That works well until you want to ping in front of it. If you want to ping in front of that area, you can't.
And then you just ping the point instead.
The point. I've led many team fights into that point by accident.
Yeah, so definitely seen a lot of improvements over a long period of time. I'm really a fan of the new Guardian UI, especially. So I think it's definitely more clear on what you on like the power score and stuff, and on the objective and on the.
We have numbers for power numbers when they work.
Yes, thank you.
When they work.
Yeah, one thing they need to get rid of though is like the power ties. I think it's confusing in the UI when you see like, oh yeah, we're both on 80 points and we're both picking up an orb at the same point with an upgraded creature. Who wins? It's like roll the dice, baby. Let's go. But yeah, I think that's an issue. The power ties have been an issue for a long time.
Definitely.
And sometimes it has been random. Sometimes it has been based on other factors.
Outside factors, yeah.
But I don't think they're all like consistent.
It's not consistent. They haven't set down a flat rule. I believe if you have if it's like 90-80 power tie, it's still kind of random.
Yep.
To an extent, which is a shame. I think the higher power should win every time. It's a hard one to call because obviously like it's always going to be that close in power. Unless, like, you're always going to run into those situations, so they need to settle on how they want to deal with those ties, but I don't think they quite know what they want to do with it yet. It's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could. There are possible solutions are like kills, a number of upgraded creatures. I think they've mentioned them before.
That'd be a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I think probably the number of upgraded creatures would be.
Like it could be a series of them. Like it could be.
Yeah.
It could take into consideration number of upgraded creatures first. Then, if they're tied, it'll be the number of kills in that set, and then.
Yep.
I don't know what else after that. Most damage during that section. I don't know. It's like it also like power ties seem really weird as well because some of the creatures don't instantly go for the orb as well. So you sometimes both teams will be like miles away from both the orb points, yet one team will win just because their creature for some reason was delayed at picking up the orb.
Yeah, definitely, it's very annoying.
Which is a shame, but they'll hopefully get ironed out over time.
Yes. Let's see. More game modes. Also, a lot of I think that's brought up a lot. I personally have a very strong opinion about this. I think no fucking other game modes for a long time. Please no.
I think my I don't mind there being another game mode, like a silly one like ARAB in League or something, but only a couple, 2-3 years in the future when the game is actually settled, comfortable, the main game mode is going on, and stuff like that. I don't think the player base is really great to do it here, and I don't think you lose a lot of mechanics if you start bringing out other game modes.
Yep. You lose a lot of work.
Definitely.
To try and re-implement a lot of different stuff. But I just think I am not a fan of different game modes. I've never been. That's just a personal opinion.
Fair enough.
Because I just never play ARAM on League. I never play like Trust Tree Line. I never play other game modes on Smite. Otherwise, other than when I have to do it for like the daily quest and shit. So that's like the only moments I do it for.
I was like the opposite. Like I got fed up with the metas and the like lanes and stuff. So I ended up playing like the arena type stuff and the ARAMs just for fun with friends.
Yeah, because what I believe is disgusting about Smite is that like the arena is actually the most played game mode, while it is not the competitive game mode. I think that's
I think that's it. It's in terms of that, arena is a kind of a place just to practice mechanics and stuff, like without the issues of like the lanes and farming and stuff like that. I think that was the purpose. Like I wouldn't mind a game mode like arena in 3 years time, because it's just a basic, you can walk into it, you know what you're doing type game mode, and it kind of fulfills that people who just want to practice their epic elite skills on a hero in just the standard fights, then that's where they can go do it.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's also just more simple. A lot of people are not really keen on spending a lot of time trying to learn all the intricacies that go into like the standard MOBA format. So I think a game mode like that definitely has merit, but I think
it'll be really beneficial later on when the community's big and is already established, because new players can come in and play that arena mode to understand how the characters work and the interactions with things, and then move into learning the actual game mode. But obviously long term. So
yep, definitely.
No real rush for it.
Nope, I agree on that one. Don't want to see them anytime soon. So yeah,
it could be worth going back to UI. I do remember in Reddit, there was people asking for like a in-game wiki type thing for heroes, because obviously we have the list of heroes and the skins and stuff, but we don't have things like what do the skills actually do, like visual things, unless you go into the practice arena.
Yeah.
So I feel that could be really strong and nice to have in the game.
Yeah, definitely. So you're talking about all the numbers and stuff and
numbers
on the UI
as well. Numbers definitely would be nice on the UI and stuff. I'm just talking about out of game, just because when you go to the heroes, look at the hero in the store, they say what the skills are, but they don't tell you what the upgrades are at all.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yo, that's a good one.
That type of stuff is just non-existent in the game unless you go into the practice arena.
Yep.
So it's like people can't work out what upgrades work well without actually playing it.
Yep. All right. That's a good one to bring up. Yeah, I think definitely that also coincides with just more information on skills. Because I had a moment on stream today where I was talking about Griselma builds I was trying out, and then I got blasted for picking a certain upgrade by Sent.
Ouch.
Yep. And I was like, why? Because and Sent brought up the argument.
Yeah.
Like this I was talking, it was about Zoned Out, the Q talent from Griselma that I was just trying to play with. And it basically deals damage on the startup, and then it makes a bigger area.
I feel people who have been playing the game for a while need to really step back and just let people play. As much as you've been playing the game for a while, I've been playing like since September 2015. You need to step back and let people play. There isn't a fucking meta to this game yet. Stop acting like there is a fucking meta. There isn't. Just play. Like, if they're picking shit stuff, whatever, they'll learn on their own. Like, you don't, like, unless they ask you for help, don't just go, you're doing it wrong. It's just not right to do.
Definitely, but the point I was trying to make is that he said, like, yeah, this only does 60 damage on startup. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't know because I didn't, like, went into the practice arena and, like, tried out this specific upgrade. And I was like, yeah, I would have wanted to know the damage value on that, basically on that upgrade.
Numbers is definitely something we need in this game. Like it gets annoying when you have to go into practice mode and shoot creatures to try and figure out damage numbers. Like, painful.
Alright, so another point people are bringing up is the maps. Because we have 3 maps currently in the game.
New maps are coming.
New maps are coming. Yeah, so that's generally been the answer to like every question about new heroes, new content. Like they're coming. Just hang tight.
Give us time.
Yeah, we're working on it.
It'll definitely be interesting to see what maps they come out with.
Yeah, because we currently have like the Ghost Reef, which is kind of simple. It's really straightforward.
Small. Yeah.
And kind of small. And then in complete contrast, we have Sanctum Falls, which is this big fuck off.
Long map.
Long map
with horrible choke points.
Yep. Yeah, so we're not a fan of Sanctum Falls.
I had 10 games of it in a row last night.
So I think Sanctum Falls just kind of devolves into a poke war most of the time. A lot of
definitely range heavy on Sanctum. Like they tried to fix it a bit in River, and I will admit the pillars they added have kind of helped. However, the main issue of like Imani being able to stand on sniper deck is still there. I don't know if they'll change it much though. Like I feel the bigger issue is the Clash Arena in Sanctum. Just because there's like 3 points Imani can stand, and you literally can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you have to work
especially if there's a bloomer there as well. Like.
Yeah, so I think Sanctum needs quite a bit of work on fixing the sidelines, and generally like the concept of like this really long map is bothering me because
I like the concept. I just feel there's not enough routes on it. My biggest issue, like if I go onto a rant, like I'll do it on a mini rant. Fuck it, I don't care now. Sanctum Falls could be a reasonable, decent map. The issue I have with it is. If let's say I'm on my C point at forward, I have the choice of either going to D or E. If I go to D, I have D being the one by the river, if I remember right. You go out into this big open river, pillars about to cover from range. However, when I walk there, I have 2 exits towards their side of the map. You have the sniper deck bridge thing, and you can walk through, or you have the big staircase. Both points you can stand literally on the sniper deck and see both of them. So it means you're kind of blocked into this court, like you can't push through without them actually seeing you. So it becomes this like one huge choke point. The same with like E is worse because it's like you go up the stairs up. You have the side way by the water you can go in, but once you're in that point, you have to go exit from the same point if you're pushing forward, especially going for wounds. I feel it'd be quite interesting to maybe, if I don't know, they might have experimented with something like this, but on the actual D point, I feel there should be a kind of like a walkway going towards the B point at the back. So it's kind of like this big flank. Of course, you can have it visible from the C point, like looking down, and it can, if you want it, you can have cliff game options there.
Yeah,
I'm not too fussed about that.
no.
But I just feel having other routes like that means pushing the first wound, and especially when the wound is right back in the Guardian
that's a
pit.
pain.
Like getting to the Guardian pit is horrible because there's literally, you either go through the archway tunnel from the place we like to call Secret, which goes behind the Guardian, or you go straight through the creature point. If you have a Cyclops on the A point, it blocks the tunnel, so it means you have to go through the creature point, making defense of it. If the defending team is already set up, getting through there is a nightmare. I feel on the opposite side, you have that upper deck towards forward Guardian area.
Yep.
I feel like there's a big wall which then has a hole beneath, and then it's the Guardian pit behind. I'd like them to knock a hole and a bridge there, just so there's a third option to go through.
I think, I think pretty much everyone, every character can get up there with a sprint jump and get over it. Because it's like a really weird, because you kind of have to jump on like a couple of pillars. It's really awkward. But I think everyone can get there with like a sprint jump. But then you would get in like this very awkward position of being like right behind the Guardian.
Behind the Guardian with no exit.
With no exit, you're screwed then if you get caught out there.
And it's not like it makes a disadvantage for defense. If they try and escape via that way, you can just cut them off up at the forward Guardian area. Like, you cut them off, so they have to go through you still. It's not like it's a longer route, unless they've been leaving earlier. But it's an awkward. I just feel the map kind of needs more routes through it.
Yeah, but that would pretty much make the map broader in general if you have more roads.
A little bit. It depends how you do it. Like, in theory, you could keep it thin. Like the bridge towards the Guardian pit wouldn't really make it fatter. The pathway from D would do a bit, depending on how tight you have it. But like, you could even do like a small bridge that goes up into the wall of Sea Point, and then you just walk through the wall. Could have like a wall hole or something. But yeah, that's just me ranting. Like, I have very passionate thoughts about Sanctum and why it's the worst map in this game at the moment.
Yep, Racky rant over. Now onto Siren Strand. What do we think of Siren Strand at the moment? Because I think Siren Strand is better designed. I think it has a way more natural flow for this game, and just fits better with like the experience that I think is intended. But
I feel super jumps are too important on that map at the moment. Because you have B point, which you can put a Cyclops on, which will just completely block the C point unless you go through the tunnel up to the Guardian pit. You have D point, which is you have to go, if you're in the center of the map, you have to go such a long way just to get up there, or blow one of your escapes to get up there. I'd kind of like a little bridge going up there. That would be nice. Or if they don't want to do a bridge, do some like stepping stones like there is going into the Clash version of D.
They were there, but they removed them, huh?
Yeah,
so
I don't know why they removed it. I feel they should really put it back, because it's not like it really was a great place to walk up, because it was very dangerous. If the enemies were there, you're either going to be swamped, slowed, or knocked off.
Yep.
So...
But yeah, now definitely Sven and Voden can definitely be a huge asset on that map, because you can just go for like when you come from
jump up,
middle ship, drop a jump pad down and just jump up and drop ship on people. I really like to do that. I love super jumps in this game, by the way. I really enjoy using them.
I love the mechanic. I feel you get a bit too much momentum from them at the moment.
Like, the horizontal momentum is pretty crazy. After this patch, I think that was a very recent change.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't in the closed beta. Not like maybe towards the end, but I remember towards the beginning of the closed beta it wasn't.
But But yeah, I was playing like Sven today with, and I had like a Gnosis and someone else on my team on Canyon, on Ghost Reef, and we would just stand on one balcony and just jump over to the other and kill everyone. It was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I think Siren Strand is really close to what the intended.
Siren Strand is definitely my favorite map out of the 3 at the moment.
Yeah, it kind of devolves on sitting on D in pub games though.
Yeah, a lot, like the game in pubs, it's really awkward unless your team knows that you should be rotating between points to an extent. I think competitively is a great map because you've got multiple options you can do. It's kind of like a better Canyon in terms of rotational play. But yeah, like I think it's a good map. I feel it could be improved still. But that's with every map. Every map can be improved somehow.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, what are the maps that you would like to see in the future? Like, do you have any specific ideas about maybe themes, maybe like some different really kind of things you would like to see in the future?
I kind of like a wide-ish map. So you kind of take Sanctum and turn it sideways. Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't really have like a theme, like how it looks and stuff. I'm not generally that fussed about it. Maybe go away a bit from blue for a while. Sanctum and Sirens is very blue heavy at the moment. But yeah, I don't really have the feel for what I would like. I'm just interested to see what they come up with, really.
Yeah, I've seen the idea of like a giant airship battle, like an airship as a map, basically. Just when
that would be quite cool.
Yeah, I think that would be like quite interesting.
It'd be interesting to see how Gren gets around.
Just slither through all the. Then you get like flashbacks to Harry Potter, like the second film. You have like the basilisks are slithering through all the tight corridors and shit. Oh yeah, that's amazing. And then just Leyron flowing, like flying over everything.
Quite interesting on Sanctum Clash at the moment. When I think it's when Gren pushes forwards. If you have a Summer Bloomer on C point, it will legit just move the bloomer across a little bit just so he can get up. It's quite interesting, but yeah, whether that's intended, I don't
know. So the next point is if they are editing the maps and game rules. So I think this I'm not sure what this means exactly, but I think this means will they add specific map-specific rules or something?
I think it's when will they take a map and edit it to fix stuff. So things like Sanctum Clash is a huge one at the moment that gets discussed a lot. Maybe like Canyon being too much of a deathmatch type map, I don't know, like that type of thing. And I think they'll like also things like creatures. Can you spawn creatures in Clash? Orbs, how the orbs picked up. Can we spawn on enemy points? I think things like that. Whether they're willing to change that. I think the conclusion that they kind of gave was they're likely to change, but the most likely mainly going to be if extreme cases come up of like it being implemented badly or something.
Yeah, because you don't want to have the maps like differ too much, especially.
And you don't want the rules changing a ton either.
Nope. Like what I could see them do is like add some very specific map specific things that just change. Or like change the gameplay a little bit, but fit into the core rules. Like not change the core rules, but like add to them. Or
that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So I think the another point that's I've seen brought up quite a bit is like the additional neutral monsters of some form or another.
Could be an interesting mechanic. You'd have to be careful with it though. Like if you gave power, everyone would just go for it. But then if you don't have it being valuable, no one will touch it. Like it's like one of those.
Yeah, because I think like the core rules have some very binary.
It's
things,
definitely very binary.
Yeah.
Like you wait for your power, you kill people to gain extra power, you fill the power up, you kill their guardian, you reset.
Because you don't have a lot of secondary resources like in most MOBAs and like in other MOBAs. Like experience is
power. Well, actually,
Yeah.
there is experience.
Yeah, there is
Experience
experience.
could work, but you have the weird cases of it can be more beneficial to be slightly under-leveled than over-leveled, if that makes sense. Because obviously you've got the things like if someone's higher level and they've had a few kills, if you kill them and shut them down, you gain a huger benefit than if you killed someone who's just done nothing.
Yeah. So most characters have a lot of take their like most useful upgrades like the earliest. So I think the later game upgrades are generally the things that you don't really need early on. So I don't think level scaling is a really big deal in this game. Like it is a little bit, and it definitely helps to get your skills like powered up more. But it's not it's not the majorest factor like in League of Legends where you just get if you get a full item ahead of your opponent, you just destroy them.
Yeah,
it's not like that.
It would be interesting if they did something with creatures, maybe. Like, if you killed a neutral creature, they buff your creatures somehow for, like, a period of time. That could be an interesting mechanic. But, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to pick up a secondary type thing. Definitely make the game more options in the game. You know, get these, like, breaks in competitive.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's one of the like problems that kind of arises from the nature of the game. That sometimes it's a stalemate because there's like not really anything to do. Most of the time,
you force the other, like, you can get into a situation where you don't actually have to do anything. The enemies have to try and force something. And the fact that the creatures are the only real objective or kills, it's kind of like, well, there's not much else they can do. It's why I like Woo a lot, because we can kind of make a pick out of nothing.
Yep. So then, alright. Which is another popular point, ranked game modes.
Ranked mode.
Yep. I think we briefly touched on it last episode.
Yeah, we touched on it a little.
So I think I brought up like the early phase of like ranked play, which is just making a leaderboard out of the top players in the general game mode, but not actually separating the queues. Basically just publicly posting everyone's matchmaking rating. That's like the first stage, but like a lot of people are asking like, will this be a thing?
I want it to be a thing, obviously.
Yep.
Being a competitively focused person. I don't. They said that to expect the push towards ranked and competitive features, so I think we kind of came to the conclusion of things like spectate, private lobbies, and stuff like that being included there, but more towards the release of the game rather than around now. Yep. Which makes sense. They're not that important in open beta at the moment.
Yep, definitely.
Just having a game to play is more important than the ranked mode.
But how would you like to see this implemented? There's a couple of different ways how you can implement like a rank system, and there's a lot of games that do it differently. Would you
definitely?
Do you have a preference of like a system?
I kind of want a standard system, like a standard leaderboard system to start off with, while the community is small and growing, and then maybe progress into like. I don't quite know. I kind of like the Overwatch system of like you have different leagues, but you don't really promote into them. You just kind of you keep gaining and losing. I like that system. That'd be a nice start. I think league system of like you're in a league, you're in your own league, you have to promote out of the league and stuff like that. I think it's an interesting system. I feel it causes more frustration than anything. I think they kind of went a bit over the top with it.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't quite know what they want. Like, because I'm more orientated towards like the actual 5v5. You have a team of 5 versus another team of 5 type stuff than the general ranked mode. So I haven't really put much thought into an actual rank system.
Yeah. So what I really enjoy is like the fact that you can say, like, I'm a gold player or I'm a diamond player. I think like that distinction is really, really good. Like where you can just say, have like a visual representation of like your overall general standing within a certain bracket. I think that would be really a good way to go, and I think that's a very familiar way to go for a lot of people that have experience in similar games. But yeah, I would.
I think you need some sort of goal of like I want to get to the next rank, or like, because obviously like not everyone's going to go, I want to be number 1, I want to be in the top 50.
Yep.
So having things like, oh, I want to get to gold, or I want to get to like diamond, they're more achievable goals for some people. So it means they're more motivated to play the game and to play ranked. So.
Yeah. So I hope they'll get just. I really like the number system. I think that's what Overwatch uses as right now. So you just have an MMR number of like, you're 2200 elo, and that's that's like connected to
whether
you're a platinum player.
Whether it's actually elo or just a number they kind of generate, it depends. Like, I think definitely a number would be nice, and it's not just like I am in this league and I'm number 5 in that league. Like,
it's like in LoL, it kind of gets obscured how good your matchmaking rating actually is compared to your peers in like the same league. So I would prefer it if they were a little more transparent with that.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Like they can obviously like hide it and like just generate the number from somewhere else or like process it in some other way. But I hope
I like how Overwatch, when you go into a match, you have the team MMR like average of both teams. I like that because it kind of it's kind of a double-ended sword. You've kind of got you can see how close the actual game is meant to be.
Yeah.
But then it also gives you an excuse if you are the lower team by like a few points. You go, well, we were lower, so we should have lost that anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's a double-ended sword on that one.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I'd like something like that. Especially with some of the matchmaking games that we've been getting, it just doesn't seem to add up half the time.
Yeah, because like most of the time it's like 2 core players, like 3 complete random new players.
I'd love to be able to see who's grouped in a game. Like Overwatch, it does like the linked bars between your what you're playing images.
Yeah.
Like I'd love something like that because I feel a lot of the matchmaking issues we experience at the moment is probably because of the number of people who are queuing as groups. So if we can see who's actually group queuing, it would explain some of the matches.
Because like the bigger your group is, the higher your artificial MMR boost. So if you are in a party of 5, you get a really significant boost to your MMR.
Yeah.
So you will probably face a lot of really good players that have been queuing.
Or like this weird mix of like a really good player and some like new people, just to average it out, right?
Yeah, in general, what I've been seeing is that I've been matched up with like maybe one other core player or like other really good player that I've seen.
Good player, yeah. And
then facing up against 5 like generally decent players. So not completely awful, but not like really good as well. But that kind of makes it very difficult because all the pressure's on like the good players on the one team.
Good player, yeah.
So
if you have to try and carry those 3 people, and if those 3 people really don't understand the game and they keep going in and doing like the same mistakes over and over, you might as well say goodbye to that game because the likelihood of you winning, like you're waiting for the other team to throw the game pretty much. At that point.
Yes.
Which does happen.
A lot.
I won't lie, it does happen.
It happens quite a bit, especially in Clash. I think a lot of people have difficulties playing in Clash. Just the way the thing, because it kind of speeds up a little bit. It is a little bit less so with the way you can now summon creatures in Clash than it was usually.
I'm kind of liking the fact that creatures take longer to summon in Clash.
Yeah,
I like that change. That's like I didn't really notice it at first, but now I realize like if you're gonna upgrade creatures, you want to do it before Clash now.
Yeah,
like there's definitely. I must admit, people are actually upgrading creatures. I had my skeptical like mind of going, people aren't going to actually upgrade anything. They're just going to use their focus. But the fact that people are actually upgrading creatures is really nice. Then again, it could be because focus priming and they're still trying to figure out how it actually works. I still get the games where I see a Narcissus or a Beckett or a HK just standing around with free focus from about 5 minutes into the game until 20 minutes into the game.
Absolutely. But yeah, upgrading creatures is definitely one of the things that was a big deal like back in the day when it's like, fuck, my team is not upgrading anything. Please use your focus to upgrade shit. But at least the general player base has learned how to do that. So I think we're getting there. We're growing. And it's definitely going
the creatures might be the wrong type in the right different places, but hey, at least they're doing something.
Yep, at least they're you get like the quick pickups on the orbs, which is like a big deal.
That is a huge deal.
Let's see. Then lore. So I'm not too fussed. I don't really care a lot about lore. It's like a thing that I consider as it's fun to have. Yeah. It's it definitely brings more personality to the game, and it definitely is a thing that is really important for like to hook in like
some players
the more want definitely. I think definitely a couple of players, like a specific type of players, will really hook onto that lore and like get really into it. Yep, and
eventually we'll probably get the people who are in game actually playing as the characters.
Yep, get like role playing.
That'll be an interesting game.
Yep, definitely. Once we get chat,
it'll be nice. Like I think Motiga stated like they want to do it, but they haven't really got the resources to really start doing it properly. So they're like, we want to do it, but maybe in the future when we can actually fund it.
Yeah, because you have to get like writers and probably additional art people to like make the visualizations and stuff. So yeah, I can see why that can be expensive.
Yeah.
So then the Arc client that people brought up, when it's coming back. So they said they were currently working on getting the Windows 10 shit to work. And as we already kind of mentioned, I think it's kind of tied to when they get the crossplay working.
Yeah, it's going to come down to those platform people, whether they accept what they allow, what they don't allow, and then how long it takes them, Motiga, to actually implement that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the quote that was written on the Reddit post, can't remember who it was by, I should have probably written that one down, but it's like, we don't have a current release date for Arc, but version 1 release and Arc launch are high on our priority list. I feel the fact that Arc and version 1 are separated in that either means they want to do Arc in open beta, bring it back, or they're willing to delay it until after launch if it becomes too much of a problem. Which is definitely interesting. Don't know how the community will react if the game launches without Arc.
We're kind of back to the Windows 10 exclusive deal, which made people very angry.
Definitely.
I think that should have kind of subsided a little bit now that more people have actually
calmed
downloaded
down a bit. I think the people who were mainly complaining have just gone off to play other games now, and if they truly want to play Gigantic, they'll come back when Arc comes back. But I think it's going to constantly be on the side, like people will bring it up and stuff like that, but I feel we're just going to have to kind of wait until Motiga like says something about it, really.
Yeah. So I completely lost my train of thought. Fuck. I just blanked.
Yeah.
Alright, so patch and rotation, we went over that. Then achievements.
Achievements are apparently coming.
Yep, apparently.
Which would be interesting. I'm very curious to see what they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is kind of like this side extra thing. Who knows, maybe some lore will be hidden amongst the achievements as well.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that they're looking at achievements. I probably won't notice them as much. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Achievements are also kind of a thing that I don't really go out of my way to like look
at. Xbox people who want their like gamer score going up, I guess, will like it.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, it's kind of thing that I once just see popping up and like, oh, you got an achievement, and I'm like, oh, I did that, and then I move on. It's like that's the moment for me when achievement. So I don't really care about that at all. I don't think it's important. But yeah, some people might.
Yeah.
Some people really enjoy like hunting those achievements and getting them completed. So expanding the servers is another pretty big deal because currently shit's region locked to North America and Europe. And we have a lot of frustrated people.
Yeah.
About
I
that.
think you can play outside of NA and EU,
Mm-hmm.
and it just defaults to the nearest one. Obviously, though, ping becomes an issue at that point.
Yep.
It'll be interesting. Motiga said that they are talking to potential partners around the world to potentially set up servers and communities around the world, which would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, this is going to be long term. Hopefully, not too long. It'll probably be like. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more servers pop up around middle of next year.
Yep.
Depending on how successful other partners look at the game, really. I think we'll eventually get Korean and China servers because I think the gameplay is supportive of that competitive vibe type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, what I think the game's looking very good right now. Like the way it's developing, there's the amount of people that are playing, that are just making posts, just talking about it.
Definitely.
I think more than I expected even.
Yeah,
because I somewhat expected a very rough launch into open beta.
I expected slow, especially with the silence we got from Motiga.
Mm-hmm.
I expected slow, but it seems like they're going full ham again, which is nice to see. I think when it comes to talking to partners around the world, I think if they can keep to the 6-week patch rotation thing, that will give a good impression to those partners. To show that the game is active, it's constantly adding stuff. It's not just going to be a game that's around for a couple of months and vanishes because no one plays it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we at least are not Battleborn Part 2. I'm very happy about that. I'm at the point where I have 2-minute queue times and see completely different names at every game, or maybe one or two people that are the same. So yeah, that's very very good to see.
Definitely.
So, stat numbers. I think that's the man was talking about how hero performance and stuff. Mostly.
Hero performance, war, just numbers in general would be nice. Health, armor, how much damage does my skill actually do? Things like that would be really nice to have. When the game ends, seeing how much damage you do, how much healing you do, things like that would be really nice to actually know, a more detailed stat sheet. Because obviously they do track this stuff because you can tell from the little achievement things you get at the end of the game, most damage or most birthday cards given by Griselmas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They do track stats, but from what they said, they're currently not sure how they want to show that type of display info and what info they want to display. But they did say that they're using those stats for tuning and balancing at the moment, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, so they definitely track damage, average damage numbers and stuff to make sure. To make sure no hero is overperforming or underperforming by a lot and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So yeah, then we come to our kind of last
major topic.
Yes, which is hero balancing and general hero balance. We kind of skipped over it last week, a little bit, because I went on too fast. It's the qualms of running a podcast for the first time. But yeah, so what do we feel about the general balance in the game right now at this patch at this moment?
General balance is alright across the board. I think there's a couple of extremes in certain builds. I feel Griselma's creatures killing capabilities is a bit too high. I think Trip's backstab,
Shocking Blades. Shocking Blades.
Shocking Blades, is it?
Shocking Blades into Assassin's Creed with a stealth resets and stuff.
Oh, okay. I feel that type of upgrade, especially on some heroes like Imani, you just get CC'd for 3 to 4 seconds, which is horrible. Not escapable. It is escapable. I have escaped from a couple of those combos before. However, it hurts.
Yep, it sucks.
When you're full health as Imani, and then you get CC'd, and you just watch your health bar goes down to about less than a quarter left.
Yep.
I feel hopefully that will get a bit balanced and change at some point. I feel, but in general, I feel like a lot of the heroes are fairly good, like in terms of balance. Like Charlotte feels good, Beckett feels good. The like pretty much most heroes. I feel Imani, if you're on Sanctum, feels horrible to play against. That is,
yeah.
Especially if no one's pressuring her, because she can just kind of rain damage down, and you can't really do anything about it half the time. What else? Ashling's in a weird place. I played her a bit. I'm not quite sure what I feel about Aisling at the moment. I've definitely seen Aisling do well, but I've also seen Aisling do horribly.
Yeah.
So,
I think.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think the thing about Aisling is that Kato does a lot of the work right now, and I think that needs to be toned down. I think Kato does way too much damage.
Yeah, I feel Kato. I agree with you. Like, I feel Kato does do a lot of damage. I feel the issue you run into is kind of the same as Griselma. My feeling between her damage, like at the moment, is her with Griselma killing creatures is her hands. They just do a ton of damage. However, if you nerf the damage too much, not really going to be viable anymore. Like, you can't really, like, people will play it because they like Griselma, of course. But if the damage is lowered too much, she's just not going to be noticed in fights ever. And I feel that's kind of the same with Aisling. Okay, you've got you can play a more supportive build with damage buffing your allies and like CCing, or you could even go the deflect shield with Kador.
Yeah,
which I've definitely seen work now and then.
Yeah, like the deflect shield eating an entire HK focus, for example.
Oh, ouch!
Oh, that triggers me every time. But
Actually, I'm very curious to see. One of the heroes they stated that they're looking at the moment was Vidasi. I think Vidasi as a healer is decent. She's a very good healer. I just feel, other than that, she's a bit nothing else. Like,
no, I think I've been crusading Vidasi changes for a while, a little bit, and I just think Vidasi is the worst hero in this game. Not in terms of balance, but in terms of like. Just design, I think she's awful.
Yeah, I semi-agree. I feel she should be. It's a hard one to call because I like the idea of the healing. I just feel once you go past the healing, she has nothing else to support people with.
Yeah, so
like her focus is pretty much a get out of jail free card for herself.
Yeah.
The orbs just either for damage or just pulling off a single cleanse or something, depending on how you spec it.
Yeah.
And then the damage path is the damage path. Like, it's just I feel like Zenobia and Sven just as like pure like proper supports, like pure, they achieve more for a team than just healing. Like, okay, Vidasi is probably always going to be a better healer than Sven, but Sven just has to give that burst heal, and then he has a super jump to get people in new position. He can armor break people effectively and consistently. Like, he can make any crack into pretty much a permanent break, which is kind of scary if you can land your shots as Sven. No, I just feel the utility. Like one of the things I really love about Sven is the fact that you can get the debuff immunity for like 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, it's 6 seconds on his. That was his RMB upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Like hitting
E.
hitting RMB with E. Was it?
I believe. No, not the armor break. The cleanse, like the permanent debuff. You can't be CC'd anymore if you've been healed.
Oh really?
That path. Yeah, it's always been debuff immunity. I can't remember what it's called though. I should probably go look it up.
Yeah. I believe it's after you hit your E, hit your RB with it, but I'm not sure. Or is that the? Well, there was I believe there was some form of condition to it, or I might just be like getting things together. But yeah, I think Sven is definitely. Oh
Healing
shit!
Waters, and then the
mixing things up.
Persistent cases.
Yeah.
Like,
that's really
immunity for negative effects for 6 seconds.
Yeah, I was mixing
that
them
upgrade
up.
alone is just huge. Like, you've got the you obviously your Iron Beacon armor break. You can make there is an upgrade if R&B if you hit your acid pool with E, it'll create a debuff immunity area.
Yeah, I was mixing those up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel the one on E itself is more stronger.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I think.
Or on healing waters, if I were to be more professional about calling skills by their names.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think Griselma and Fadasi is just completely based on her healing numbers. I think as soon as you like nerf her numbers a little bit too much, then she's just worthless because she doesn't offer anything else.
She's a complete numbers character, which comes into this really awkward situation of the likelihood of you hitting those perfect numbers is pretty much non-existent.
Yep.
So
yeah, she's either gonna be completely underwhelming or fucking overpowered because of the healing thing. So yeah, I've suggested a couple of things like give her like a single target shield with like a cleanse on it or something, or like let her cast her focus on someone else, so give someone else damage immunity for like the amount of seconds.
That could be interesting, but that could also become ridiculously strong.
Yeah. Yep, of course. But I am no game designer. I'm no game designer. It's just ideas I've thrown around. Motiga has stated they're not gonna change around like her kit all too much. So I'm sad to see that happen. But maybe down the line, it'll eventually happen.
I'm sure reworks will happen eventually down the line when the game's very successful.
Yep.
But of course, around then there'll be more heroes, so there'll be more options as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's Vadasi's a really awkward one. But yeah.
Let's see. Do I want to talk about anything else? I think the melee Griselma build I've been trying her out a little bit. I'm not a fan of melee Griselma yet. I'm not completely convinced.
I can see potential in it with like the healing the hands like. Against a range comp, unless all the range actually focus it, like if a HK is just attacking or a Beckett, you can out heal the damage they're doing. However, if like 2 or 3 people start attacking your hands, you're pretty much dead because you're taking all the damage at the same time.
I've also found out that build is able to heal Voden Clone and Kador.
That actually works on Kador.
Yeah, it works on Kador and Voden Clone. It's pretty stupid, but yeah. Okay. So we can bring back the AI cancer comp. I've talked about it with Scoogy in my chat. He was not a fan of it. I was not really a fan of it, but I guess the synergy is there, so the possibility is there. But yeah,
you lose a lot of damage for doing that.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing that Scoogy brought up from this afternoon in my chat was that the healing and like the shock path from like the beam should be transferred to the melee.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, because I kind of feel
sense like you're more into the fight.
Yeah, because there's no real reason to get into melee range with Griselma, because you deal no damage with your melee attacks. There's nothing you can apply to your enemy that actually helps you stay alive.
Pretty much.
So the way I found that melee Griselma really plays out is that you really have to wait until people get into your hands.
You have to play much more defensive than the other part.
Yep.
Which is it works on some maps, like you can get it working on Siren Strand. Sanctum you can probably get it if you set up on Altar or on your C point.
Yeah.
Sorry, E, not Altar. Sorry, old competitive names. I should really drain those out of my head.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's awkward. I guess Canyon could kind of work, but I feel you'd be overwhelmed with some of the poke damage that could occur.
Yep, I agree on that as well. I think you put yourself open to the possibility of just getting out-rotated real fast with that setup. Because it requires like 1 or 2 seconds more to set up completely, because you have to hit your hands first. Yeah. So it requires like a little bit more setup in which gives the enemy enough time to actually just kill them. So yeah. I think that was Griselma for that. The beam build is very strong, incredibly powerful right now. Even just in team fights, I've made it work. I got like 60k damage in like a very short game, so it's pretty insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do about it.
Do you have any other heroes you want to talk about specifically for the state of the game, chat?
I'm not sure. Like a lot of the heroes, like pretty much I don't feel there's anything really notable about them. Like everyone kind of just fits together into their place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really have anyone else to talk about really.
Nope. Same as do I. So we had a little topic come up in the chat. I spotted that. So
Okay.
the question about the surrender option, and I've seen this before, and I do have a pretty strong stance on it. I think a surrender option is kind of going overboard, and it's kind of a band-aid fix that is going to take way too much resources.
Yeah, it feels like a band-aid. I feel the only time I'd probably be okay with a surrender vote is if it's something like 2v5, maybe 3v5.
Yeah, but that's like it does not actually fix the problem of people leaving the game. So I think they should just focus on fixing people leaving the game instead of putting a surrender vote in the game.
Whether they increase the punishments people leaving have, or whether it's because of bugs. It's a hard one. I'm kind of in the same boat of you. I don't think surrender vote is worth it. It's maybe a bit more relevant now than it was previous patch before Clash you could summon. Because now that you can summon in Clash, you before, if you could just let them kill your creatures, they'll get a push. If you defend that push, they have to go for you now. They can't. You can kind of just defend the one creature and kind of gain the advantage via that. There are ways you can win. Like 4v5s aren't unwinnable.
No, definitely.
Like you can definitely find weak links. You can try to figure out what habits they have in the match, maybe and stuff like that. I feel people need to realize Clash is a comeback mechanic.
Yep.
Even as 4v5, you can. It's okay putting you into an awkward position where it's a smaller area, but in some sense that means you're closer to the one creature you're defending. Hopefully, I guess my advice for people who end up in 4v5s: think about where you're summoning. It can be better to just not summon and then try and take a fight when they're trying to steal your orb, or try and find windows to collect the orb. Unless it's the last orb, then kind of either have to go rush their orb or try and sneak it, something like that. It's an awkward one. But I think I'm in the boat where the surrender option is really needed.
No, I would agree with that. I even in the long term, when like all the issues are kind of fixed and people are not disconnecting just because of bugs, I don't think matches are long enough to really warrant a surrender option, and I don't think matches are snowbally enough to really warrant a surrender option.
Well, if the thing is, like, if you're gonna bring a surrender, it's gonna be about 15-20 minutes if you're gonna put one in, and if the game is snowbally, it's ended at 15 anyway.
Yep, definitely.
Or it's in Clash and you can kind of just go, okay, this isn't gonna happen. Like my team are just dying all the time. Okay, we've lost anyway. Like you were at the point you know that you can't come back, and it will just end. It's an awkward one. Because you've always got to remember it might be 4v5, but someone of theirs might leave as well at some point. Like I've had a game where my team went down to 3v5. Clash died and it was 3v3, which was an interesting thing that happened. I think that game ended up being a 2v2 by the end of it.
Oh shit!
I don't quite know what happened that game, but
nice.
Yeah, like it's kind of awkward. Like you can't just call people out because they're leaving, because sometimes they're not. They might have a crash. They may have UI bugs. They may have some other issues that pop up. Though if you are someone who leaves, please stop leaving because it makes the game unfun for everyone else.
Yep.
I don't care if you just want to move on to your next game. There are like 9 other people in that game who are potentially trying to play a game. You're kind of ruining it by just leaving. But yeah, that's kind of my stance on it, really.
Yep. Especially if you have people leaving as soon as they notice who's on the enemy team.
Definitely.
Yep, we've seen it a couple times. Please stop it. Just makes the grind even worse. But yeah, I think we kind of went through all our topics right now. Unless there's anything you want to bring up at the last second.
I guess like just as a note, there is a gigantic skin sale going on at the moment.
Oh yeah.
20% off, free of the skins. I think it's the Imani, Operation Red Hawk, Vidasi Angel of Mercy, and Lord Narcissus Highland Chieftain.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently on sale. They're down from 500 to 395 rupees currently. Yep. That ends tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific.
All right.
Which I'd love to tell you what time that is in Central European time, but I do not know offhand.
12 p.m.
12 p.m. Pacific.
Is that midnight or noon? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Midday.
That's midday?
Midday. Noon. Yeah.
That would be like 9 p.m. or CET.
Okay. Well, it might be. I don't know.
Oh, right. Well, we had we talked about all the topics brought up in the AMA. So on Reddit,
the fucking skin thing in the fucking chat. That makes life easier.
Yeah. So we went over a lot of community brought up topics that are pretty upfront and like out there that a lot of people are asking for. So then I think we're going to go towards our our signing off.
Yeah.
So.
What's your plans, Gaiex, this week?
Yes, I have a lot of school shit to do. I finally found out I can play Gigantic on my laptop again after cleaning it out. I ripped my keyboard and my touchpad for it, but it's worth it. I still have to fix the connector to connecting the keyboard and shit to the motherboard probably somewhere. But I'm gonna go create some content tomorrow. Probably make a Griselma video.
Nice.
Yes, probably spend some time doing that. And for the rest, focus on playing Griselma, Wu, and Ashling. I think those are my the holy trinity of me at the moment. Nice. I really enjoy those. So yes, what are you gonna do this week?
Well, I hope to be streaming this week. Last week I kind of became ill and had a parent's birthday to deal with, so my streaming kind of didn't happen most of the week. But I plan to try and stream every day till Sunday, I guess. Hopefully in the afternoons, so about, I guess, 2 to 3 Central European time start. Hopefully, providing nothing else comes up. Follow me on Twitter. You'll find out there.
Yes. So just a shout out to your Twitter. I think it's @Rakychu. It's off-centered below your camera. I fucked that up.
And there's a gap underneath my name on the border as well again.
Huh? The gap's supposed to be there, but it's off-centered. It's triggering me. I just saw it. Like, oh my god, we have to have something every week. Like last week, it was the orange border things that were like vertically off-centered. It was really annoying. But yeah, it's @Rakychu on Twitter and just @Rakychu on Twitch, right?
Yep, that's
sure. So you can follow me on @Gaiex on Twitter and just twitch.tv/Gaiex, which is here. So
and don't forget the Massive Damage Twitter.
Don't forget the Massive Damage Twitter. We also got that, which is @MassiveDamageGG. For more updates on our team business and the podcast. If we do eventually get scrims and some competitive analysis, we will post it there and get you all updated on our competitive situation. So then as a final note, I want to thank you all for watching for the second episode. We'll probably take a bit of a hiatus after our second week already.
Oh yeah, it's Christmas this week, isn't it?
Yeah, because we have like Christmas coming up, we have New Year's coming up, so that's going to be awkward. So we thought about doing like a New Year special a little bit. So please just watch
Tune
the Reddit.
Into the Twitter. Watch Twitter and Reddit. I'm sure a post will appear at some point.
Definitely. So that's going to be it for us today, and I will hope to see you next time.
Yes.
Bye-bye.